Do you guys remember that slap back thing, like club hitting thing, Fight Club multiplex that I do? I mean this. I just realized today, you can do that with 1.5 spin, the club hitting. Like, I don't know how to do it yet, but let me show you. Yeah. So that's one-sided, but it's damn cool, right? I gotta practice to be two-sided though. It's always that same catch, like I'm gonna finish, then it crashes. Anyway. Booyah! What up you guys? Welcome back to another one of these videos. Yeah, it's been a long time. Welcome back. Today we're gonna talk about basic throws, okay, and the names, terminology, what do we all call them. And this is not to say what is right and what is wrong. This is just I wanted to tell you guys, because I know there's a lot of discussion. People are, no, it's called this name and it's called that name. I just want to share with you how I learned them, okay? I started juggling in 1998, so that's 23 years ago. And this is what we call them here in Finland, Europe, back then. And most people still use these as the names for these throws, all right? This may get a little bit complicated, but just follow along, all right? We're gonna go just a couple of different basic throws with clubs, and just names, all right? So we have the basic throw is this. This is a basic throw in a single spin, okay? So we have double spin, you can do triple spin, we can do flat, and we can also do reverse spin, okay? So it's just a spin that goes the other way, normal, reverse, reverse double spin, normal double spin, and so on. Okay, half a spin, 1.5 spins. That's it. That is a basic throw, okay? And this is like the basic 3-club cascade, right? In single spins. And then we can do it in double spins. Okay, if we do a double like this, then we change the side swap. If you don't know what side swaps are, for sure there's a ton of tutorials on YouTube about those. They're just, to me, they're a way to write juggling down on a paper. That's it, okay? They're also very fun and annoying mathematical way to doing that, but they can actually be used when you talk with a fellow juggler. You can use side swaps to describe the trick that you're talking about. Like if we're talking about 5-3-1, we know what is a 5-3-1, but also it can be used as a creative tool, which is pretty cool. Like, that is, I think, the biggest reason to learn side swaps, is to use it as a tool, but also for communication. But yeah, that's still, to me, it's a way to write it down on the paper. Yeah, so if we change, like the side swap, we're still doing a basic throws like 4-2-3, stuff like this. And then we can change whether we're throwing from the inside or outside. Like a cascade is an inside throw. We throw inside, so we throw under the other objects. If we make them outside throw, this is also known as reverse cascade, okay? But it doesn't always mean the reverse pattern. Like let's say I'm doing one hand throws normal and the other hand throws over. Now this is called half shower. So there's also some techniques has names and some don't. Like this is 4-2-3, right? And now I change the force into outside throws, but it's still 4-2-3. I can change the force into single spins, and it's still 4-2-3. So now you just have to be very specific on whether the fours are singles or doubles, and are they inside throw or outside throws. And we can even make the tree in the outside throw. So the tree is now outside throw. Whoa, sorry. And the fours are doubles, inside throws. So you see how you can very easily manipulate the pattern by doing just very simple basic changes. But yeah, it's like sometimes we have names for these and sometimes we don't. But I think it's best to describe tricks. I don't like to name tricks. Like if I come up with a new trick that hasn't been done before, I just call it what it is. Like I just explain the variation, not give it a name. But that's my style of doing it. All right, so that is basically basic throw. Okay, so now we have basic throw with all the different spins. Single spin, double spin, half, 1.5, flat, reverse spins, and so on. Now let's go into flat fronts. So these are flat fronts. Basically, they're thrown flat for the frontal view. Okay, so it's not like this. We change them outside. These are flat fronts. And I know there's a lot of people who say, let's drop a club. I know there's a lot of people who call these wall plane throws, but to me that is very confusing. But because there's also dips and there's different patterns and spins with it, so you always call it flat fronts, wall planes. But like, yeah, just to say, nothing is right, nothing is wrong, just different. But if you do guys who use wall plane to describe these flat front throws, do you also use, we're gonna go into this soon, but dips. These are like flat fronts and these are dips. Do you call dips wall planes as well? And do you use also like, this is a frontal plane. No, sorry. Yeah, this is frontal plane also known as. You're moving like this. And then we have sagittal plane, which is like this side movement, which would be normal cascade, like normal throws. Do you guys call it sagittal? And then we have transverse, which is this way, which would be like helicopter spins. Do you guys use other planes or just wall planes? I'm just genuinely very curious, because where I grew up in the world of juggling, nobody used these planes. So I'm just wondering. But anyways, let's get back to it. Flat fronts. So this is a flat front, okay? And depending on the side swap you're doing, you can do flat front as a 3, okay? And then you can do it as a 4. It could be a side swap 5, okay? And then we have different spins. You can do like a single spin, double spin. You can even do reverse spin. Like that was a reverse double spin in a side swap 4 on a flat front, sorry. So this is a flat front double spin, side swap 4. This is a reverse double spin and a drop in side swap 4. Okay, and then you have like some people call this a flat front flat, so it's a flat throw, but it's technically 1.5. It's half a spin because it starts like this and it turns half. So some people call this flat, some people call this half a spin. Like for someone, this is a single spin, and for someone it is 1.5 spins because it turns 1.5. Now, if you do a single spin, technically you would have to catch it this way, so it actually spins single, and then you turn it. But I really don't care. To me, it's pretty much the same, unless you really need it to be this way in the pattern. Like next throw is going to be like over the head throw or something like this, or you're doing flats like that. You're doing like a 3-club cascade that the clubs are actually flat. Then the difference of this flat and that flat, then you need to make that difference. So this is sort of like a half a spin, but also a flat, and this is a flat, okay? So trying to show you guys different options that there is. So that's why this is sort of like a huge rabbit hole to go into, but sometimes it's fun, okay? And again, do not take this as a, so like, no, he said it's this, he said it's this. No. Again, I'm sharing my experience, how I used to learn these, all right? And how I call them. You can call them whatever you want. I'm like, to me, it doesn't matter. All right. So yeah, those are flat fronts. And obviously, again, you can do flat fronts in reverse cascade. Like if you do this, This is sort of like a reverse cascade. But then it becomes interesting. Like let's say we do flat front flats. Let's just call these flats now. So this is reverse cascade. And again, we don't really have a name if I do it like this. Like what's the difference of those two? Like the one that go reverse, that we do overthrows, or these that we throw front and back. And the club most of the time stays upright like this and it doesn't turn like that. It's hard to say what are they called. And also, if we do this, now it's a reverse cascade, we make outside throws. What if we make inside throws and we do the same? Now, is it called still the same cascade, or now is it a normal cascade in flat fronts or wall planes, whatever you call them? I don't know. I think it's very interesting to find out which one it is. But that's why I use video. Like I said, I don't care about the names. I don't like to write stuff down. I don't have notebooks anymore. I used to, but now that I have camera, I film things. I think it's so much easier, like, this is what I'm talking about, instead of explaining all the specific throws, unless I'm chatting with someone. But still, usually I'm sending them a video. But yeah, it's interesting to different names and so many different techniques. All right, but that's enough for the flat fronts. Now let's talk about, one more example, like the 4-2-3. Now the 4 is double. 2 is an active single spin, and 3 is a flat. So that is a flat front 4-2-3 with all different spins. Just an example. Now let's talk about dips. So these are dips. Okay, so I think the name comes from, because it's sort of like dipping, something like dipping a chip in a bowl of salsa or something. I think it's come from that. So flat fronts, we throw the body from the outside, and the dips are where we throw the body from the inside. Okay, and I guess you can still throw all these silly reverse spins from that, and flats, I guess. But it's pretty much usually just spun like that. Okay. And then we can just do cascading dips, which is pretty awesome. And all these old school variations where we have like flat fronts in the mix, they're awesome. All right, so those are dips. And then we have helicopters. So the helicopter is the transverse plane. And this is a helicopter throw. And again, you have the option of spinning, like doing it flat. That's not a helicopter, that's just a normal throw, or a flat front flat. But when it spins, like half a spin or one spin, then it becomes a helicopter, when it's just in this sagittal plane, horizontal plane, right? And you can spin it both ways. And it's the same thing, you can even go under like that. And it's still the same thing, like different side swap, different spins, you just have to name them, what spins and what side swap you're using. That's pretty much it. That is all basic throws. There is still over the head throw, which is like for some people it's a body throw, and for some people it's a basic throw. But let's just show quickly, over the head means you throwing it over the head. And it doesn't mean your hand has to stay over the head all the time. Okay, it's just called that because it goes over the head, your hand, when you're throwing it. Obviously you can throw cascade that your hand goes, like, I mean, just a normal throw, your hand goes over your head, but it's just here we throw it like over the head, but it's not literally your hand has to be here. So with clubs you can do it this way, which like the elbows are in, like facing forward, or that the elbows are out. Okay, and yeah, it depends which one to do. Some people also call this the tomahawk throw, but I think that's more in passing, because like in passing when you throw like that, it looks like you're throwing a tomahawk. And I think it's mostly in the United States where they call it like that. I think in Europe we just call it overhead. But yeah, other than passing, I guess people just in passing, they use that tomahawk term. Yeah, and here, over the head, with the elbows are out. So yeah, and there's a lot of cool patterns with that. Those are the basic throws. that's it. Again, if you guys have some different names that you use, I'm very, very curious to know. Because I posted about this on Instagram, where I did a flats, but in reverse spins. Okay, so it's sort of like, instead of being half a spin like that, I did half a spin reverse way. And now it became like, what is this pattern called when it's this? Oh, let me try it again. I haven't done it in a while. Come on. Okay. So flat front, flats with reverse spin, or whatever. Okay, but that's the trick. But it goes sideways. So it is, the purpose is that the clubs don't go over each other. So it's not this, but they actually go like that. And yeah, I was just very, very curious to see what people think they are, and actually I was curious to see, has someone named that trick? But yeah, I think it's very cool to know that a lot of people use different names for different techniques. So if you have some technique, or you use different names other than I did, like, comment, share them. Let's see what we come up with, what people use. I don't know. If you're interested in learning how I do these techniques and different ways of using them, definitely check out my online juggling course, Juggling Mastery. There's way over 400 juggling tutorials that goes deep, deep, deep into the techniques and how to learn them. All right? Other than that, thank you so much for watching. Oh, sorry about clapping. Yeah, I still have half an hour time. I'm going to do some training. That's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.